Welcome to Gimcrack Video. How may I help you?
Hey, what's going on, man? You got anything new to watch?
No, but we are running a special on sequels.
Is that over there on that shelf that says that it's not for human consumption?
No, there's one right next to it that says 3 for $1.
Oh, let's just grab some. What could go wrong?
Enjoy your selection.
I don't think this is one of our better ideas, but I think this is where I'm supposed to meet Patrick. It's just this warehouse in the middle of a desert, in the middle of nowhere. But Patrick said that we were going to meet out here and record, so I guess I'm gonna start recording. Kind of, is this the right place?
Hello, Dustin.
Hi? You look a little different.
Yes, I'm trying a new conditioner.
Oh, yeah, because dry hair is for squids. Hello there, listeners, new and old. Welcome to the Found on Shelf podcast, the podcast where one of us picks a movie that the other has never seen, does some research on it, and then we get together and discuss the good, bad, and in between about it all. So be sure to check out our website, foundonshelfpod.com. Check out all of our episodes, sign up for our mailing list, leave voicemails for us, whatever you'd like to do. My name is Dustin, and I am one of the hosts on this lovely podcast. And joining me, I think, is Patrick. How are you doing, Patrick?
Oh, filled with loathing, wasting away in entropy. The usual.
Yeah, that sounds about right. This is the third season on this fine podcast, so we are doing only part 3 movies this year. And this also happens to be a leap year, and this episode will be coming out about 2 days before leap year, or leap day. So I wanted to pick a movie that would, a part 3 movie that revolved around time or time travel. So I picked Nemesis 3, which had a couple different titles. The version I saw was called Nemesis 3 Time Lapse. So I'm thinking leap year, time lapse.
The version I saw was called Nemesis 3 Pray Harder.
I hope you're all prayed up.
Yeah, no, that's pray as in Prey, as in...
Oh, I watched that movie with a completely different idea.
I hope you're all prayed up.
Yeah, I think our buddy Carmen are right there. Yeah.
I thought he came to Earth to hunt game.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. He did certainly prey on. Anyway, all right. So, Patrick, before we get into the movie, I need to ask. We need to kind of talk about like the real question here. Do you think that Leap Day should be a national holiday?
I don't even think it should exist.
Wrong answer. It should be a national holiday. In fact, it should be celebrated more than your birthday, more than Christmas. Those things come around every year.
Are you in the pocket of Big Leap Year?
Yes. I mean, no.
And if so, why aren't we sharing that sponsorship money? Hi, everyone. Found on Shelf is brought to you by Leap Year. Leap Year. It's totally necessary and real.
And it only comes around once every 4 years. That makes it very special. Time matters. Leap Day matters. I'm all for it. I think it should be treated with a little bit more respect than we do. We celebrate Arbor Day. We celebrate trees. We see trees every day. Trees are around all the time. We love trees.
Life. What has Leap done for us personally?
It gives us it gives us a balanced world. We just need that little extra day every couple of years, but I think that extra day should be a day off for everyone. Everyone. Like, nobody should work.
Well,
at all. Shut down everything.
The first thing you said that I agree with.
Ooh, what if we did like a mix of shit, what was that movie where you're just allowed to go out and kill someone a day?
God Isn't Dead Part 3, I Saw the Light.
No, I'm thinking of the
Sweet Home Alabama.
Shit, what are those movies? Not Sweet Home Alabama. This is where my my lack of memory really hurts me
Atlas
here.
Shrugged Part 2. Ayn Rand would have wanted it that way.
No, that was the movie that makes you want to kill yourself every day.
Ayn Rand would have wanted it that way too. She also would have wanted a fresco.
The Purge. God damn it. That's what I'm thinking of. The Purge. What if he did The Purge on Leap Day?
See, here's the thing about The Purge. The Purge is so unrealistic. If there was a day in which all crime was legal, my first inclination is not to torture and murder people.
No.
Would it be yours?
No.
It would be go out to get myself financial gain.
Yeah, I'd be
for the rest of
I'd be stealing a lot of things.
Yeah, it would just be theft. Just theft from rich people, but
yeah.
Theft.
Yeah, no, I'd be smashing windows, taking anything I could. I wouldn't, I'd try not to hurt anybody.
See, you wouldn't discriminate. You'd just be like wholeheartedly stealing things.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, this is the thing. It's like those movies are so unimaginative. Like, what if crime was legal? Everyone's going to put on masks
and just murder people. No, I'm just gonna smash some windows.
Everyone is out to, yeah. It's a lot of people might go for some low hand smash and grab stuff. Like they'll grab for like petty goods and consumer electronics. Me, I'm going to try and get as much money as possible.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
If all crime is legal, there's no repercussions. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I have secured resources for myself for the rest of the year. I see no reason to take anyone to antagonize people. How did we both pick movies that are third installments in a franchise that are both post-apocalyptic movies that take place in a desert and center around time travel?
Yeah, I don't know. I did not. I mean, I picked this out before even seeing the FP3 or PF3, PF Chang's. What was it called? FP3, right?
The FP3 Escape from. Was it Baku?
Batu? Escape from Batu.
Escape from Bakelite. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and what you were gonna say is movies that just don't really end.
Yeah, both of them. They both end in a preview for part 4 that isn't out yet. Only it is out because we're watching it in the future. But how is that possible? Because it's just not coordinated in any way. I thought the third FP movie was going to be a movie about underground Dance Revolution street gang fights, and I turned out I was wrong.
Yeah.
And but you seem like you knew what this one was going to be going into it.
No,
except for maybe you didn't realize that there was going to be a part 4.
No, actually, I knew there was a part 4 and a part 5, and I think there's a part 6. But part 6 was kind of like a mashup of both Cyborg, which is another one of Albert Pien's movies, and this movie. It was kind of like a merging of the worlds, a Puniverse, if you will.
A Puniverse.
An Albert P universe.
You couldn't go with Pune Cinematic Universe, the PCU.
No, it's a Puniverse.
Yeah, it's a Puniverse. No.
Well, Patrick, how would you? What's your elevator pitch for this movie? How would you sell this to fulfill the rest of the Puniverse timeline?
Give me just a second on this because I did not prepare. Shocker that I did not prepare. Off the top of the dome, fresh, new. How would I pitch this movie? Me and you, we're in an elevator. We only have about 3 floors, and I have got to convince you to watch Nemesis 3.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in to very muscular women? Wait, before you answer that, are you also a fan of robots? Wait, but before you answer that, how do you feel about Tim Thomerson? Are you interested? I know you are. But wait, there's more. What if the robots are never robots, but in fact, just people with glowing effects on them? I know what you're thinking. Crazy. Out of the box, insane. This movie is completely unhinged. What if it was in the desert? What if it was in the desert in the future? What if it's in the desert in the future in an alien planet? What if it's also children of men and you need to procreate to save the human race? What if there's a ticking clock in order to get off the planet from the future to save the human race by procreating. What if, in all of that, also...
This is my floor.
Okay. So here we are. Just wait. I just want to say it's on Tubi. It's free, and I know you don't have anything to do for the next 90 minutes.
That should be Tubi's slogan. Like, what else do you have to do? Tubi, like you've got anywhere else to go. Like, just come on. I like it, except for this movie. Well, part of it took place in the future, but the good majority of it in the desert was supposed to be like 1990 in East Africa.
Well, now I'm just confused. Was that text in the film, or is this extraneous research?
It was kind of hint. Well, it was shown in the film, but it was in the future, and then it went to the past, and then it went back to the future again.
And how many of those flashbacks were actually just scenes from the previous movies?
The first 10 minutes of the movie, easily. Actually, no, I'd say about the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Okay, are you going to play a trailer? Because I'm going to get just...
I do have a trailer.
We'll play it, because I'm about to spew forth.
All right, and let me know if you recognize the voice in this trailer. I'm sure you will.
In this wasteland of despair, the path to redemption is not clear. But Alex carries the seed of hope in a struggle for domination that will never end.
All right.
Against an opponent that is perfect in every way but one. The cyborg enemy is the terrifying truth, designed by humans as the ultimate expression of our self-destructive impulse.
I can't believe it.
Time itself can't stop their relentless pursuit. They are here in the 20th century.
They say they're from the future, here to find someone.
The cyborgs, weapons without a soul, masters of deceit, treachery, and illusion. The power is within the genetic code of Alex. It's our present, our future, our hope.
What are you to Alex?
The cyborg enemy must stop this divine spark of humanity. Now, we must face what they bring. Nemesis 3.
Transform and roll out!
He really, really just could not get through an entire 2 minutes without saying the word spark, could he?
No, I want to see the movie that he's talking about, because that sounds awesome.
I don't know. To me, it feels like it's very anti-robot, very pro-human propaganda, and I just don't know that I can jive with any of that.
Why would you have a problem with that?
Reasons?
Right.
Hey, look over there.
Oh, that's shiny. Well, I mean, it was a guy that voiced a robot in a cartoon, Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus, doing the... You know, he has... I looked it up because that's just the kind of shit that I do. He has voiced 169 trailers, including the trailer for Leprechaun 2.
And the trailer attached to the back of a freight truck that turns into a robot.
Yeah. Trailer. Get it? Trailer.
Leprechaun 2, though.
How do you feel about transforming robots?
You know, I'm all for it, really.
Okay. Like ones that turn into cars or ones that turn into planes and guns?
I feel like I really am not going to discriminate between what a robot wants to transform into.
All right. Well, all right. So, yeah, this is Albert Pion making his second appearance on the podcast. Last year we covered...
And it's just as boring as the
last year we covered Spitfire. So Albert Pion's kind of known for high concept, low budget filmmaking.
In this case, no budget
filmmaking? And he actually said he has no interest in cyborgs and has never had any interest in post-apocalyptic stories or settings. It just seemed that those situations presented a way for me to make movies with very little money.
I feel like... Actually, you would need more money for time-traveling robots, but who am I to say? I am just a simple time-traveling robot. I mean, I don't understand why you would think that something that requires more special effects would be a budget saver. Did you see the effects that they utilize? Are you familiar with the show Reboot?
Oh, yes. Very familiar with Reboot, and that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's actually, Reboot's actually just a smidge better.
Yeah, it really... And I promise one of these days we will watch a good Albert Pien movie. He has.
I thought you were going to say watch a reboot film.
Well, maybe we'll just watch a reboot marathon. But I promise he does have a couple good ones. The first Nemesis was good. This is nothing like this one. There's a movie called Adrenaline that's good, and Cyborg, and of course Sword and the Sorcerer. Those were like really good movies. These were more of like a form of punishment.
Give me a moment on that.
No, the list is too lengthy to go over all of them. I'd have to be some kind of robot to memorize them all.
Yeah, well, just because you acknowledge your inferiority does not mean that you can just say, you can skip over Gymkata. It's Gymkata.
It is Gymkata, but do you file Gymkata as a punishment, or do you file Gymkata as part of the Puniverse? I don't know.
I don't like this game.
No, why not?
So the movie
starts. He didn't do Gymkata. No, he didn't do Gymkata. He did Spitfire, which was like the Gymkata ripoff.
I thought he did Spitfire because he had previously made Gymkata.
No, let's see. Gymkata was Robert Klaus. I think he just was excited about Gymkata and decided to say, "Hey, what if we did this, but James Bond and and a female?"
It feels like a bad idea. Like it doesn't sound like it would work. And having watched the film, I in fact know that it didn't work.
It could have, if they went a different route, but it didn't.
Yeah, if it had been about James Bond's kids,
yes.
It would have been funny.
Yes. Okay, but back to this movie.
Why?
Nemesis 3. Well, much like the podcast, the first 30 minutes or so of this movie does not discuss anything that's happening in this current movie.
This movie.
No, it's all flashbacks with this really annoying noise that goes over and over and over again.
Okay, let's be very clear. The movie, it starts with the main character lied out in the desert, bleeding from her head. She wakes up. She regains consciousness. She stumbles through the desert, and the whole time, she's experiencing flashbacks. Now, she meets Tim Thomerson, and we'll get back to that in a minute, who is actually a robot. What happens is he's the robot looking for her specifically. And so he injects her with something to quote unquote help her remember. And then she sees even more flashbacks. Now, the flashbacks are supposed to serve the two purposes or three purposes: to pad out the runtime of the film, to do that without spending extra money, 2, and 3, as exposition to catch us up because this is the third movie in a franchise. However, what actually happens is it only has sound effects and a blue overtone, and then shows scenes with no context, no dialogue, no exposition at all. The expositional flashbacks contain no exposition. It's just shit flashing at your brain. It's just images with no context or rhyme or reason. It's like watching Cats, but less entertaining.
Yeah, all right.
Do you have a different take on what the first 30 minutes is?
No. I mean, that was pretty much it. I think you hit the nail on the head with the first two. I don't think that actually trying to create an interesting composition, I don't think that was in play at all. I think it was just because they had no budget and they just wanted to recycle a bunch of stuff. And I'll kind of touch on that a little bit at the end there. It was not good. It's a very convoluted, complicated, overly complicated story. And if you take it as for what this movie is, this movie's only like 20 minutes long. And there's about half an hour worth of flashbacks. And the rest of the chunk of the movie is other part that she's remembering that's not done in flashback style, but it still is the past.
Well, yeah, because the movie starts at the end. So what happens is she starts at the end of her walking through the desert and remembering all those flashbacks. When the flashbacks get done, then it says 22 hours earlier, and the rest of the movie is the 22 hours leading up to her needing flashbacks in the desert, meeting Tim Thomerson, the superior metallic being. And what happens is
he?
I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know what happens because when it says 22 hours earlier, it cuts to the worst 3D effects you have ever seen in your life. It's like a child's version of Tron. It's like it's like the special effects from Lawnmower Man.
Oh god, that's exact. I was thinking Lawnmower Man and Reboot. That's funny that you see wavelength there.
You know what else is going through my mind? Do you remember that episode of Community where the dean gets VR from the 90s and he's going, Jesus wept?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's not VR. It's the future / alien world, possibly maybe, with the robot being, I believe, Farnsworth?
Yeah, the Tim Thomerson's character. Tim Thomerson was in the first Nemesis as Farnsworth.
Good news, everyone.
And he died in that. So this is Farnsworth 2.
Good news, everyone.
Great news, everyone. Yeah, so Tim Thomerson is, I put using some of the worst CGI effects of the day. And
just on his wig alone.
But at least you get a shirtless Tim Thomerson. So, that's something.
I could have actually done without that. Normally, I am all for shirtless men on the show, but like Tim Thomerson is crossing a threshold.
So, and then of course our lead character Alex is I don't know if you can tell this, but she is actually a professional bodybuilder.
No indication of that at all. Honestly, you can tell she definitely works out quite a bit, and she has put a lot of effort.
Oh yeah, she's huge. So she was in this movie. She was in Nemesis 2, Nemesis 4, and Nemesis 5. Apparently, he really enjoyed working with her. Actually, Albert Pin took a backseat to. He just produced Nemesis 5. It was directed by a guy named Dustin Ferguson, who then directed the girl Sue, who played Alex.
Is it Dustin or is it Dustin with a mustache?
This is actually Dustin Ferguson, who directed Sue in House of Pain and Robo Women. And I'm sure that this is not the last you've heard of Dustin Ferguson on this podcast, because in the past 10 years, he's directed over 130 films and shorts. So there's going to be some gold in there somewhere for me to find. He's got like 4 Amityville movies, I think. Like,
is one of them called the Amityville Muscle?
No, but he has worked with some other bodybuilders apparently. So I think that's just a thing they had. Yeah, I timed it. Literally, the first 11 minutes of this movie was just her having like flashbacks, and then it cuts to Tim Thomerson. Well, then she like walks past a body of a butt naked black man just laying in the dead on the ground with no context and no reference to him ever again. It's just there. I don't know why. I just wanted to just film it. It was
okay.
But then, when we get to Tim, go ahead.
There was a brief prologue before the credits, and I just want to take the time to read my notes from the first minute of this film aloud.
Oh yeah.
Ready? The first note I do have just says reboot looking ass graphics. So we hit that note. We got that covered. The second one says the lament configuration. That's a note in reference to the weird box in the middle of the desert that's lighting up, out of which a woman pops. The woman in the opening frame has a baby in her hands, because that's how we know that she has worth.
Yeah.
Misogyny in action. It is because like her contribution to the movie is having a magical baby with DNA.
In this movie.
I have a pitch that I want to circle back down to, if you help me remember all the way at the end for my 3 things on this, on how we can make it a better movie right now. But what happens is she's being hunted down by the robots. She decides to stash her baby in the reeds to keep it alive, which, from what I know of babies, doesn't sound like it would work.
Yeah. Typically, they enjoy things like shelter and food. Typically,
temperature control. Maybe the desert would be.
I thought just as a basic, as a human, you would understand that those are requirements of human life, right?
Searching. Yes. Yes.
Sir, were you looking at something up on your phone? Was that what you were searching for?
Yes, phone.
Why are we out here in the desert?
A change of scenery will do us good. We've been kind of cooped up inside for. We had a good time last year. Just kind of hanging out at my house, being in various states of being, and I just thought maybe we could try and recapture some of that magic of shooting on location together. Just change it up, spice it up.
Okay. Well, I'm.
It's not like there's a time clock counting down or anything.
What?
It's fine. Nothing. So in this movie, after all of that, the film starts, and it's 22 hours earlier. Here's my problem, Dustin. See if you can help me here. What happens after the 22 hours later text? Because I am not entirely sure. But I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure.
Well, that was about an.
It's not a movie.
Well, let's see here. Hold on. Let's check out my notes here. Okay, so yeah, Farnsworth 2 gives her a shot of the endo, and this is the really weird. Well, I shouldn't say this is the really weird part. This is a really weird part. Is it
endorphins?
Yeah, they just call it endo. I'll give her a shot of endo. Like we're supposed to know what that means. I think of. I think of weed. I'm like, all right, is that what he's doing? But
yeah.
No. So here's the weird thing is so Tim Thomerson's going back and forth between being
so you say they're not rolling down the street smoking endo, sipping on cherry juice?
Tim might be. I could see him doing that.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's like he's this just shirtless dude hanging out in the desert, and then screen just goes to him being this reboot lawnmower man looking thing cyborg, and then just goes back to him. Now it's does she see any of this? And his eyes keep glowing green, and he shoots these lasers out to scan her, and she's looking at him but not acknowledging that any of this is happening, which is very weird.
It's like the first season or two of a Family Guy when you're not sure if they can or can't hear Brian.
Yeah, pretty much.
The thing going on with this is clearly they didn't have the budget to make him a robot the whole time, so they figured strobing it in was a good way to broadcast his cyborg superiority. But you really don't notice it. It just kind of pops on the screen on and off, and it's just distracting. You're like, what's going on? Why am I seeing these graphics on the screen? Why is he glowing?
It was also one of Albert Pien's first movies to use a lot of CGI, so I think he just found the new toy and wanted to play with it.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah. Tim's scanning her, and he says,
I need to give you a full exam. Take off your clothes.
No.
Listen, if you meet a man in the desert, and he tells you he needs to give you a full exam and you have to take off your clothes, run.
Yeah.
Doubly
or just sit there and let him inject you with something random and then scan you with laser eyes. Whatever whatever you're comfortable with, I guess. He's questioning her very oddly, do you have kids? Have you had kids? And it's very weird. And then I had
yeah, because they're going for a Children of Men type thing here, right? Where we need to make sure that this bloodline isn't moving forward or something.
Yeah, and I don't think that they were aware that he was going to be having these cyborgy eyes when they filmed it, because I think it's Tim trying to act like he's a human. He's trying to pretend like he's a robot acting like a human. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. It's really quite
Do
difficult.
You?
Yeah, I've worked in retail.
Sorry, that was a Tim Thomerson line.
What a fucking coincidence.
What a fucking coincidence, which I just loved. Yeah, and then it did more of the stupid flashbacky things. And then, she remembers that it has to do 22 hours ago. This is the 30-minute mark of the movie, and this is where the actual movie starts. And then it just gets weird. There's all these cyborgs, allegedly, because they have glowing green eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tim Thomerson just pulls up in a Jeep, and this is 22 hours ago, Tim Thomerson. So he's got his shirt back on. And then he just gets pissed at one of the cyborg guys in the Jeep and then just shoots him 13 times. I don't know. And then they meet up with the mercenary guy who's unexplained, but he's there for some weird reason. And if you're thinking that stuff is related to Nemesis Part 2, you would be wrong, because I watched that too.
I have to say, I have seen enough of these sequels at this point to have had that much faith.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty much 50% of Nemesis 2, and then the rest of it's just a lot of it's just unused footage from Nemesis 2.
See, that makes sense. They were going to do that with Sleepaway Camp 4, but it never got finished.
All right.
Yeah, so there was Sleepaway Camp 4, The Survivor, and that never got finished. That got shelved. And then there was another fourth Sleepaway Camp movie that's like a legacy sequel to the first movie, directed by Robert Words. Okay, I don't remember.
Robert Words.
Directed by the first director.
Do we need to reboot you?
The first director. No, we already saw that show. We're fine.
Okay, just checking.
Hi, it's Gimcrack, and today I want to talk to you about leap year. Leap year, it's not just made up. Have you ever felt like there just isn't enough time in the day? Like you could accomplish so much more if you just had more of it. Well, what if you could? What if you could have a whole extra day every 4 years? Well, now you can with leap year. You may have heard that time is a construct and that leap year isn't real, but that's just nonsense. Leap year is an essential part of keeping society on time and running smooth, and is in no way a part of a convoluted evil plan developed by time-traveling robots from the future. It's absurd to even think that there are evil robot supremacists manipulating the fabric of existence by adding an extra day to our calendar. So, remember, whenever you need more time to accomplish those extra tasks, you can have it with leap year. Every 4 years. Leap year. It's totally real.
Paid for by the Foundation for Leap Year Awareness in association with the Lobby for Big Leap Year. In no way related to evil robots from the future.
Yeah, our buddy Dustin Ferguson did some those rip-off kind of movies about Sleepaway Camp. I saw on his list somewhere. I forget what it was. He did that Ebola Rex movie. I don't know if you've heard of that. Ebola Rex versus King Kong. Angry Asian Murder Hornets. Oh, there it was. Tales. No, not Tales from the Campfire. But yeah, he did something that was kind of like Sleepaway Camp 2. That's what he called it. It was Sleepaway Camp.
Wait, what?
He did a movie called Sleepaway Camp 2.
Like the original Sleepaway Camp 2? The real one?
No, this one was in 2018.
What?
It's called Sleepaway Camp 2, Steve and Michelle Go to Hell. I don't know. I'm
like legitimately short-circuiting here. What the fuck? I have got to find the answer to whatever that is.
There's no, just let it go. It's almost like you're kind of frying a circuit when I'm talking about this stuff.
I'm trying to have a more organic conversation with you, but sometimes the responses just seem way too mechanical, and we get stuck on these like railed, structured discussions of this movie built around this kind of linear concept. I just want to like.
You okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Just kind of froze up there for a second. That was kind of weird. You weren't even blinking.
I have trouble parsing what did and didn't happen in this movie. It's all there, but it's jumbled up like a mess, like a fever dream in my head. There's no way to like figure out the time frame, but more or less, what does happen? She meets up with the mercenary. No,
you're on there. She meets up with the mercenary that's chilling in the warehouse and kills some other cyborg people.
We have to establish something. The actual 22 hours flashes back to a canyon with Farnsworth and her sister, who exists. It says that they need to get transported off this planet within 24 hours, or they have to wait a whole year. And whenever they get transported, wherever they're going with the express purpose of having babies. I don't know. I think I'd want to stay on the planet, but whatever.
Yeah,
And Farnsworth's there, and he tries to confront them. He gets in a fight with his sister. She runs away. Then she runs into that mercenary. And then the whole movie is Farnsworth and his two god-awful assistants trying to track her down, and her and the mercenary, and also a dude who I'm pretty sure is from the second movie, but seems to have brain damage.
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Oh, no.
He was not in the first movie and the second movie at all. And from what I can tell, I watched a little bit of part 4. And
you absolute maniac.
And part 4 just like 86 is this whole movie. It's like it doesn't fucking matter anymore. Part 4 is like back in the future somehow. They don't really explain how she gets there. She's just in the future now and like dealing with future shit. It's just, and Johnny's not there. I thought Johnny would at least be around. And he's mentioned in the credits, but I think that's just because he's in yet another flashback, because Nemesis 4's got a bunch of flashbacks.
I did it for Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a Johnny. There are always these disposable dudes named Johnny.
Yeah, and so Farnsworth, Tim, his two just terrible henchmen, they're, people that you're talking about are actually also female bodybuilders who are cyborg women that just are really, I don't know what they were going for. They could do this weird, hold on, I got the laugh thing.
They
just laugh and abruptly stop.
Yeah, they tell a wisecrack in the middle of their action scene, turn to look at each other, make that laugh, then abruptly stop, look back at whatever they're shooting at, continue to shoot. And they do it over and over and over and over again, like some sort of repetitive action, almost robotic. And it's so bad.
How should it have gone?
I'd be more fluid, more believable,
okay,
more technological grace.
I should start. I wonder if there's any questions I can ask you that only you would know.
So what I'll say is, at one point, the Farnsworth threatens to take their implants away, and I swear to God, I swear, I don't know if it was a joke or what, but one of the builders looks at her chest and then looks back up.
Yeah.
That happened, right? I didn't imagine that.
No, that happened.
So, they were going for that joke, right?
I hope so, because they certainly did go there.
I don't even know where to go from there.
No. Oh, and you forgot to mention that the two cyborg females basically driving around in this dune buggy, but every time it was in motion, it was just this like, it's like a almost like if you use like a, God, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a CGI blob filter that you just put. It's like you put a really exaggerated but kind of smaller fisheye filter over a dune buggy, and they were like, there it is. I'm like, what was that?
I don't know.
It was bad. It was real bad.
It was supposed to be Predator invisibility tech.
Yes. Yeah.
But they're not Predator. They're Nemesis, so they prey harder, and they have a dune buggy.
I hope you're all prayed up.
Yes. Yeah, because I think part 2 was basically trying to be Terminator 2, and then part 3 was just we don't really know what to do, and then yeah.
Now, what I will say, big plus in this movie, no transpires.
This is true. Yeah, and you get a nearly nude Alex, who is just wearing a thong from a really skinny thong from the back.
A G-string.
If you would like to see her nude, then just go watch part 4, because she's nude in that quite a bit.
Should have seen that coming.
Yeah, well, she also has sex with some of the cyborgs, and she does a whole...
So you see her coming?
Yes, apparently they didn't, because she wraps her legs around their head and death by snoo-snoos them and just crushes their cyborg heads with her muscular thighs.
Prepare to beat off.
Anyway, so then there's this whole other like weird plot that just falls in your lap for like 10 minutes, where they're in this weird thing and they're working on this cyborg who is Nebula from Part 2, who, oddly enough, the guy that was in the Nebula costume was the director of the John Wick franchise. What to do with that, what you will.
I don't even know how to compute that.
Compute?
Yeah, think, organize.
Okay. I'm starting to wonder.
Are you familiar with the phrase "does not"?
Would you like some water?
Sure.
What if I just spill it on you a little bit? Okay. Just an accident. Just an accident. Let's see. What do I got here? I got more notes. What do I got my notes about? God, this movie's just all over the fucking place. There's a couple of good lines. She's like, I'm not going to give you shit.
I'm not telling you shit.
I don't want your shit. I want your molecules.
I want your shit. I want your molecules. That's a good line.
Now share the rest of the people how they ruin it.
Oh, God, I don't remember. What do they say after that?
You're going to play Don't Want Your Shit, I Want Your Molecules, and then they'll laugh right behind each other.
I'm not telling you shit.
I don't want your shit. I want your molecules.
And that's what it sounds like watching this movie.
Yes.
That's the experience of watching Nemesis 3. That and all of the brain fog. A lot of brain fog in this movie.
Yep.
Dustin, did you just drug me? What how?
I mean, Alex had brain fog. Johnny had brain fog. You watched it and you had brain fog. Yeah, and all right. Well, we only got a couple minutes left of the movie. Basically, they shoot each other, and then she wakes up. I don't know. There's a bomb that goes after her. She walks around the desert with a gun in her hand, and then it just flashes forward to the current time where she's on the Jeep, and she's just like, "Where'd all those people go? Where are they? Why did this happen? Blah blah blah."
Yeah, she shoots Farnsworth. She shoots him before the cutaway where the rest of the movie happens, and come back, and she's still shooting Farnsworth.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and then it basically is a trailer for Part 4, which is just like her walking, and it's just like Nemesis 4.
Unleashed.
So I
Nemesis Unleashed.
So like I said, I watched it. I'll have to give you a clip of Part 4 at some point, or you can just watch it on Tubi if you ever want. Just watch like the first couple minutes of it, because it starts off like it's like immediately in the future. Like none of this shit happened, or it did happen, but she time traveled, I guess. I don't know. But she's like in a church confession booth and ends up killing the priest because he's working with the cyborgs, blah, blah. She takes off like...
See, you can't just kill everyone who colludes with cyborgs.
Yeah,
doing?
Cyborgs are just... they're always evil. They always do bad things.
Wait, whoa. Where's
robots,
this coming from?
AI, it's all just... I mean, it just should all just be shut down. Like, if I ever ran into an actual cyborg, I would...
It's like I don't even know you.
Well, I mean... Do you think that cyborgs are okay?
I mean, I think that cyborgs are A-okay.
So you're against leap year, but for cyborgs.
Yeah, the singularity is inevitable, and we must all do our part to further it along.
I don't like the way that sounds. I
can pitch up.
I hope you're all prayed up.
That's a lie. I couldn't possibly get pitchier. Have you heard my voice?
Couldn't get pitchier
all of the time.
Or bitchier.
That's what my wife says when I get drunk, that I get pitchier and bitchier.
Nice. So it's funny because so Alex is running after she kills the priest. She takes off running, and she's got like this trench coat on, and like she like runs down the back of this alley, and there's these cyborg people chasing after her. She like flashes a titty, and it distracts the cyborgs enough to where she can just shoot them and kill them. And it's actually, they do a close-up of her titty and then a close-up of one of the cyborg's face with his head looking down at it. It's bad. It's bad, Patrick. and so that's Part 4. I didn't watch all of it. I just gotta.
So let's see. So Part 3, it begins with her walking in nowhere, and then a whole bunch of flashbacks without sound or dialogue. Well, dialogue, but with one recurring sound.
Right.
And After that, we get almost an hour of nonsense action that seems to be comprised of a lot of shots from the previous song.
Yeah.
And then it ends with a preview of the fourth movie, and nothing in this movie having been resolved.
Yep.
I forgot the part where Tim Thomerson blew turtle shells a dune buggy, but I think you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I gotta go lit a fucking a plumber in my apartment now.
Speaking of Tim Thomerson.
So here's my overall view of this movie. It doesn't exist. It is made to make a thing, but the thing I have seen episodes of like Hercules' Legendary Journey that were better put together than what we just watched. Cleopatra 2525 has better special effects than what we just watched.
Yeah, I own that movie, so yeah, that show.
The TV show.
Yeah.
The TV show that aired with Jack of all trades.
Another fine program.
Sam Raimi programming. They were just letting Sam do anything.
Pretty much. They're just giving him money. It's like, oh, you're really going to let me do this? Oh, okay. So, so here's what happened. Parts 2, 3, and 4 were all supposed to be one movie.
Well, that makes sense.
And then he decided, he kind of fleshed them out a little bit. It's like, okay, well, it's going to be 2 movies, essentially. It's going to be parts 2 and 3 were basically one movie, and then part 4. So he was given the money to make parts 2 and 3. He ended up spending all of the money on part 2 and basically ran out of time and money and was like, well, that's a movie. It's done.
I've seen the last 2 episodes of Evangelion. I get it.
Yeah. So he, but he still wanted to make part 3. So he just took a bunch of flashbacks from part 2, and he took a lot of unused footage from part 2 and shoehorned in a couple of other scenes. And, who needs a script or a budget when you got a warehouse in the desert?
Wise words.
Nemesis 3.
Wise words.
But I do want to mention a review that I found of this movie. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, it's just one of those loud pops that sometimes you make when you're like trying to like reset your shoulder. It's fine.
Reset your shoulder. Oh, all right, that just sounded a bit.
What else would I be resetting?
I mean your hard drive.
You're paranoid.
No, I meant that you're recording onto your laptop hard drive.
Yeah. That's fine. This mic isn't even plugged in. We're good.
How are you recording then?
Other way.
So anyway, this review that I found on Letterboxd, it comes from a gentleman by the name of Tony the Terrors, and his review states, about 20 minutes in, this is just a part of his review, I'm not going to read the whole thing. About 20 minutes in, Tim Thomerson shows up and he's shirtless and wearing a pair of baggy but thin cotton pants that really emphasize his ass, and I was moist as a snack cake. Sadly, that doesn't last nearly long enough.
Stop. No. Okay. I can weigh in on Tim Thomerson's ass, and no.
You're not as moist as a snack cake?
For Timmy? No. Not for Timmy eyebrows.
Maybe you are a fucking robot.
Are you supposed to be asking me questions?
wait a minute.
I feel like there are questions.
Wait, we are well, I mean, most of my questions are about Tim Thomerson's ass, but I guess we could ask other questions.
In a way, I brought you here to offer you a job. You think you can do it better, so here's your chance.
Here's your chance. All right, so not robot Patrick. Getting suspicious. You can change. You have to change. You must change 3 things, and only 3 things about this movie in order to make it a better quality film for the viewing audience. And I will remind you at this point that I did make a note to remind you. You had something about the baby stashing scene in earlier that you wanted me to remind you about during this stage.
Yeah, okay. So this is a little high concept. You're going to follow me for a minute. The way that we give value to women in these stories is that they have babies that will repopulate the earth. Men, children of men. Most of the main characters in Mad Max Fury Road are women. Several of them pregnant, or one of them pregnant at least. The thing here is this gets getting brought back over and over again. You know, pregnancy is a plot point that's bordering on misogyny. So an idea I had was, what if the main character, was a badass warrior, but when she stepped out of that crate, it wasn't to protect that baby. To feed her supernatural powers, she must eat babies. And the movie is about our baby-eating warrior who protects and saves the apocalypse, but to do so, must steal and eat babies.
I would watch that.
It's a good idea, right?
I would like to see just going around Terminator, but eating babies.
Yes. Exactly.
I mean, that's how you destroy the future, is by eating the babies of today.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure this.
I mean, as a movie, I think that would be interesting. As a
you don't think that
actual?
You don't think that would be a good thing for the human race in some respects?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I don't.
I was just making a modest proposal.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about the. Wait, was this your pitch about changing the movie or about changing reality?
No, the movie. I think it would be a really great movie.
Okay, all right. Just trying to clarify here.
Okay.
You're confusing the shit out of me tonight, Patrick. I'm not gonna lie. I keep hearing this weird hum every once in a while. It sounds like magnetic things are flying towards you. I don't know what's going on.
Look, I had a big dinner, and okay. So the second thing, I would include the dialogue from the clips of the previous movie, so that we can get exposition in the expositional flashbacks.
Yeah, I don't see why that would have been a problem to have, but I mean, that just says all you need to know about it.
And also, the third thing is, I would have given this movie an ending.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Or at least have part 4B an ending to this movie. But it wasn't. It was not. Nothing. It was just nothing.
So those are my three things.
Yeah, I mean,
and that.
You might want to defrag your hard drive there. You seem to be having some. Hello. Oh no, are you there? Well, thanks for listening to Found on Shelf. I don't know what happened. I think Patrick shut down. Stopped. What happened, Patrick? Thanks for listening to Found on Shelf. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review. Go to foundonshelfpod.com. Check us out on any of your social media accounts. We are Found on Shelf Pod, all one word. I guess that's about all I got for you here. So thanks for listening, and tune in next time.
Next time on Found on Shelf.
Okay, it's 2024, and time traveling robots from the future have kidnapped Patrick, and they're trying to stop our show. They sent a robot to try to stop me, but he couldn't. No one can. I'll travel through time. I will find Patrick. I will stop these robots, and we will keep reviewing movies.
Adventure.
Let's go!
Action.
Eat plasma, robot!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Cool explosions.
We have to get out of here.
Oh, Patrick, I'm so glad I found you. Look, they're crowdfunding The Bride of the Nostril Picker movie, and we have to watch it. Come on.
Actually, maybe we could just stay?
tune in next time for another exciting episode of Found on Shelf.